No. No. Stop this. Sir, you see what you started?
Hey, it's Sue
and Megan,
the Spine Breakers.
And today we are gonna do a recommendation video for Halfoween-A-Thon.
Yes.
Which is, oh sorry.
Sorry, I was
Please
gonna
continue.
say, is starting Saturday, the 24th.
Yes, and that is our halfway mark to Halloween celebration / readathon. So if you haven't checked out our announcement and TBR video, please do so. But we thought we would give you guys some recommendations for some things to read for these challenges.
Yeah, so we each just picked one per challenge, so you'll have 10 recommendations total. Definitely go check out other people's TBR videos. If you have a TBR video, please feel free to mention it in the comments so people can go check it out and get some more ideas for what you might be able to read for these challenges if you're struggling at all for any of them. And while we give you some recommendations, we're gonna drink Enigma from Tapistry Brewing, which is from Michigan, somewhere in Michigan. Bridgman,
Michigan. I don't know where that is.
And this is not the coldest because I just bought it not that long ago, but it's a double IPA brewed with brown sugar.
I'm very intrigued about this brown sugar situation.
Yeah, and I don't know what the ABV is because it doesn't seem to say on the can, but it's imperial, so I'm guessing it's
High.
a little strong.
Right.
At least it smells sweet. I feel like I can smell the brown sugar already. It's very sedimenty.
It is sedimenty.
So there it is. Can you see the stuff floating in it?
You see all the crazy floaters in there? All right.
Let's give it a go.
Cheers. Okay. It's an IPA.
Not bad.
Not bad.
It kind of has that IPA taste that I sometimes don't like very much, which is like almost a gluey taste.
Yeah, I can taste that.
But it's not bad. It's not that strong.
No, it's not terrible.
Taste. Yeah, it's fairly sweet, but also very bitter.
Yes, it is simultaneously very sweet and very bitter.
Yeah. But I feel like you'd have to be a pretty hardcore IPA fan to really like that.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah. But let's get into our recommendations.
Yeah.
So, what do you recommend for the first challenge, which is to read a book and watch the movie adaptation?
I chose Silence of the Lambs by Thomas Harris, which is not the first book in that series, but it's fine if you read it by itself. Like if you haven't read any of the other ones, you can still, and that movie is of course wildly popular, but I thought Thomas Harris did a really great job with that book, and I felt like he did a really good job of writing a good female character, which I think is interesting for a male horror writer to do.
Yeah.
So I think he did a good job with that, and it was a fun read. It was pretty quick, so I would recommend it.
Yeah. And my recommendation is, I think I actually read this for Halfoween-A-Thon last year, which is The Invisible Man by H.G. Wells. It's a pretty short book. I thought it was a quick read. I really enjoyed the book. And then there's quite a few movie adaptations of this. I would recommend the 1933 version, which follows the book pretty closely, but I really enjoyed it. It's kind of silly. But I feel like it knows it's silly. Mm-hmm. And then I would also recommend the 2020 version that has Elizabeth Moss, which is a very different take on it, but still very good.
Nice. Yeah, I liked that movie. I did watch that one with Elizabeth, because I like Elizabeth Moss as an actor. So what is your recommendation for the second challenge, which is to read a book about a monster?
So my recommendation for this is Monstrous, which is a graphic novel by Marjorie Liu. Yes, Marjorie Liu, and the art is done by Sana Takeda. This is about a young woman who, she kind of has a monster inside of her.
Ooh.
The art is absolutely beautiful. Like stunning art. And there's this very cute little fox girl, and there's talking cats. Like What more could you ask for? I'm really enjoying this series. I think 4 volumes are out now, and I've read all of them. I will say the first one is a little bit longer, but it's still a graphic novel, so still should be a fairly quick read, good for a readathon. Mm-hmm. I think this is one of those series that I'm going to have to like go back and read it in succession once all of it's out, because it's pretty complex and like it's kind of hard to keep up with what's going on sometimes, but I'm still really enjoying it.
Yeah, I've almost purchased that so many times just because it's so pretty. Like
the art is so good.
It's gorgeous. I chose Hex by Thomas Old Huvelt, translated by Nancy Forrest Flyer from the original Dutch. This book is set in New England, and it involves a ghost witch. But the cool part about this book is that it kind of makes you question who is the monster after all.
Ooh.
Yeah. So I really dug it.
And the next challenge is a book by a BIPOC author.
For that one, I have Dread Nation by Justina Ireland. This was, I think it's YA. I'm a little bit iffy on if I enjoy YA or not. If it's really heavy on the tropes, I don't usually enjoy it. But there are some YA novels that I do really enjoy, and this was one of them. It is about zombies, so it is set right after the Civil War, because during the Battle of Gettysburg, the dead soldiers got up and started eating people, and so that fucked some things up. And so they sent Black people and Indigenous people to these schools to learn how to fight the undead because white people couldn't be bothered. Mm-hmm. And so this is about a woman who went to one of those schools and her journey. I don't want to spoil anything, but it was really good. I liked it a lot. It was fun. I listened to the audiobook of it. It was read by Bonnie Turpin, who is an excellent audiobook reader if you're into audiobooks. Fun zombie novel, alternate history kind of a deal.
Yeah, I'll have to check that out. I had heard of that, but I did not realize it was a zombie novel.
It's really good. Like, there's some badass kills in it, and like she's a badass, and there's another character that she becomes very close friends with who's also a badass, but like in a different way. Mm-hmm. So, and their friendship is really cool. Like, they have a really cool friendship dynamic. So, I dig it.
Nice. I have to admit that I found myself lacking when it came to recs for this, for horror by BIPOC authors. So if you have any recommendations for me, I would love to hear them below. But the one that I decided to go with is The Only Good Indians by Stephen Graham Jones. He is an American Indigenous author. I really enjoyed this one. It's about 4 men who were living on a reservation when they were younger, and they did something that they weren't supposed to do, and that kind of comes back to bite them in the ass.
Oh boy.
And I really liked it. It is one that Megan DNF'd because it does have some like violence toward animals.
Yeah, there wasn't anything wrong with the story, and the writing was good. Mm-hmm. It was just it has some violence toward doggos in it.
Yeah.
And so other animals, so just be careful. Yeah.
Yeah, so be warned of that, but I really enjoyed the book. Overall, I really liked his writing style, and it really did it for me.
Yeah.
I really liked it, so I definitely want to read some more stuff by him.
Okay, so then what book are you going to read with blood on the cover?
I'm going to recommend.
Oh, recommend, not read. Jesus.
I've already read it.
Already read it.
But I'm recommending Bird Box. If you look up close, there's some little blood spatters on the cover, and there's also some blood dripping down the spine. But y'all have probably heard of this one, where people suddenly they see something, but when they see it, they kind of
they lose their minds. Like it causes them to do grievous harm to themselves and others.
Yeah, right, and usually they end up killing themselves.
Yeah.
But I really, really loved this book, and you could also count this for book to movie, because there is a movie version on Netflix.
Book about monsters.
I did not think the movie was that good, but yeah, you could count this for monsters as well. A lot of these could cross. I mean, this could be a book by a BIPOC author. You could count this for monsters.
I think all of mine would count for monsters.
Yeah, so some of these could be recs for other challenges, but yeah, this is my one for blood.
Yeah,
Blood.
There was a scene in that book that still fucking haunts me. So I chose to recommend Feed by Mira Grant for this one. There's some blood on the cover, splattered. This is a zombie novel, but it is kind of a weird take on a zombie novel. It's like 20 years after the zombie rising, and it's about these siblings who basically produce news coverage about zombies and stuff. So the brother is like an action-oriented, like go out and fight them guy, and his sister is like the newsy, brainy one. And so it's just kind of about them. This is a whole series, and there's a lot of like little novellas and short stories that kind of go in between these novels. I loved this series. It was so good, but there is something very weird in it that doesn't have anything to do with zombies. So fair warning, but you don't find that out until second book maybe, or maybe even the third. There might be some foreshadowing of the weirdness, but...
Okay. Now I want to read it just to see what the weirdness is.
Yeah, there's some weirdness. Yeah, I really dig Mira Grant. It's a good zombie story and a good zombie series. So then what would you recommend for a horror short story?
I tried to pick something that was maybe a little lesser known, just because I feel like short stories are not that difficult to find. You could go with like Edgar Allan Poe, Shirley Jackson, Daphne du Maurier. Like there's a lot of very well-known authors who have lots of short stories out there. But I went for a story that I read in this collection, which is Alfred Hitchcock Presents Stories Not for the Nervous. And I think it was probably my favorite story from this collection was called Walking Alone by Miriam Allen DeFord. It's about a man who witnesses a crime, and he doesn't come forward and say anything because he wasn't supposed to be there. So he's trying to protect himself and kind of the guilt that follows him after that. And I wouldn't say that it's like super high on the horror factor, but I did really enjoy the story. If you can find it somewhere, I don't know how easily you'd be able to find this collection because it's pretty old. This I got at a library sale, I think, and as you can see, the dust jacket is not in good condition.
Seen better days.
The hardcover is kind of nice though.
Oh yeah.
And it says inside, Ex Libris, Beverly Newton.
Thanks, Beverly Newton.
Thanks, Bev.
Appreciate you.
For the book.
So for this challenge, I recommend Ghost Summer by Tanana Reeve, both the short story and the collection. I think the collection is a really good investment. There's a lot of really good stuff in there. Ghost Summer, for which the collection is named, obviously, is an excellent story. But also there's a few different, like the stories are kind of set up in sections, and they kind of each section has like a theme. So there's like ghost stories, and there's zombie stories, and there's like a third one, and I can't remember what it is. But the zombie stories in there are also really good, and I can't remember the names of them off the top of my head, but honestly all of them are really good. There was one story about like a boy and his grandfather trying to navigate the zombie apocalypse that was like chef's kiss. So that whole collection is really just a good investment.
Also, you can read, if you missed it, I put it in the description of our TBR video, but for our After Dark live show, we are going to be discussing the story Tricks or Treat by Jeff Gelb.
And that is a horror erotica tale, so be aware of the content. There's going to be some sexual stuff in there.
It's high on the erotica.
Yeah.
So
if that is something that you're not into, maybe skip that one and read something else. But
but you can find that in it's the 9th book in the Hot Blood series. I think it's called Crimes of Passion. It was, last I knew, $1.99 on Kindle. Also, someone mentioned in our comments on our TBR that it was on Scribd, or Scribd Australia at least.
Okay.
So it might be on Scribd wherever you are. I'm not sure. If you have Scribd,
check it out and see if you can find it.
But yeah, it's only $1.99 on Kindle, so we thought that was
pretty
fairly accessible.
Yeah. So if you want to check that out, the Hot Blood series, Some of the earlier stories, like in the first book and third book, are a little problematic, but honestly, Hotter Blood is the best one of the collection that I've read thus far. But they're just cheesy. They're stupid.
I think there's like 11 or 12 books.
There's a lot of them. I have
series.
I probably will eventually get all of them because I think they're dumb and I love them.
Yeah, and Jeff Gelb edits all of them. So we're reading a story from the editor.
Himself.
Check that out if you'd like to. You can count that for that challenge and come join our live show, which is Saturday the 24th at 3 p.m. Central Standard Time.
Yes, we will be coming to you costumed up and ready to talk about some creepy, sexy times.
Yeah.
I lost track of that sentence halfway out of my mouth.
Yeah. And we'll be doing our movie night.
Yes.
On the 30th.
We will be live tweeting that.
At 7 p.m. So we're going to be watching Hellraiser. And you can count the Hellbound Heart and Hellraiser for the Book to Movie Challenge.
Yep.
Also, Hellraiser could count for Monster, I would say.
Yep.
So those are our recommendations. Like I think I said at the beginning, if you have other recommendations for people, or if you have a TBR video or post elsewhere on social media, feel free to
leave your recommendations.
To plug it below.
Absolutely.
People can go check out what you're reading and maybe get more recommendations that way.
Absolutely. And if you're stuck on one of the challenges and you want to message us for more recommendations, then please do. Yeah. We'll do what we can do.
And I'm probably going to be posting on my Instagram stories about like my progress as the week goes on. We thought about vlogging, but I always feel like vlogging, it's like by the time you're done and posted, it's after the readathon's over. So it's like, I feel like nobody cares anymore.
Right.
So I'm probably going to be posting on my Instagram stories, giving updates of how I'm doing with the books I chose. So if you want to follow me on Instagram and keep up with that, if you're interested, my Instagram's below.
Also same, I was going to do the same thing. So yeah, my Instagram handle is also linked below. And we'll try to remember to tweet also.
Yeah.
We will tweet into the trash garbage void that is Twitter.
Yes. Oh God. I hate Twitter, if I'm honest.
It's rough.
But yeah, we are going to be live tweeting the movie. So, and maybe we'll put some Instagram stories.
I thought we could do some Instagram
when
stories
we're watching the movie as well. So if you don't have Twitter and you want to join in, then you can also
find us on
Instagram.
Yeah. And we'll
probably post some stories during our movie night there as well. But this beer is like, it's definitely for the IPA lovers.
Yeah,
it's very bitter, very hoppy, but it's not bad.
Yeah, it's not bad. I don't think I could drink a whole one though.
Yeah, it's a lot. And there's a lot of like sediment.
So many floaties in the bottom. Like I'm concerned.
Which if I just drank it out of the can, I probably wouldn't even notice.
We would never know. Yeah.
But yeah, it's a little, I know it's like I know it's normal, but I also don't enjoy seeing it. Same.
Like I know it's not anything unusual, but I still don't want it in my mouth.
But you can't even feel it either.
No.
Yeah, it's weird.
But it's weird. I don't like it.
Thanks for watching, and we hope that you all enjoy Halfoween-A-Thon.
Yes, we hope you all have fun participating. We always have a lot of fun with it. So yeah, thanks for joining us for it, and we will see you next time.
Yep. Bye.